Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, is everybody going to camp? I know summer's over, but Hillary wants us to go to camp, and I got to let my 30 seconds go by before I was at camp when I was a kid. But we're talking about something else about re-education. So she slipped up with that one, didn't she? Or maybe she didn't. It's got everybody talking, boy. Everybody talking. How people have to be uh, de-indoctrinated. That's just a fancy word of saying indoctrinated. Hi, Diane. Hi, Robin. How are you doing? Finding Dory. How you doing? Hi, Linda. Bubba. Alicia. Hi, Nikki. Diane. Debbie. Oh, I got Diane. Oh, I thought I had two Dianes. That's the same Diane. Okay. You got two highs. So anyway, um, I sit here and watch this stuff when accusations fly or stories crop up. And I saw Mr. T put out a post about, he said, stories about me. Whoa. Oh, that was you, Tizzle. I hope I didn't take myself down. Okay, here I'm still on there. Stories about me, the ridiculous story put out about me today, talking to Mar-a-Lago member about U.S. submarines is false and ridiculous. Other than the fact I will often state we make the best submarines and military equipment anywhere in the world. And he goes on talking about it. This was earlier today, and I'm like, I haven't heard that yet. So it must be hot off the presses. You know, I checked here, there, and everywhere, and that was the first time I heard it when Mr. T put it up. So he must have got word about when they start pumping these talking points out, because he said it was a leak from the Jack Smith bunch. So I said, well, I wonder why the Triple T crowd, that's Trump temper tantrum crowd, I haven't seen anybody putting anything out about it. So I said, well, let me go over here and check this Midas touched in the head. Remember, that's what I call them. Oh, that's Truth Social. Wait a second. Oh, I got a new person following me. Amber Randall. Well, she's a cutie. Follow me on Truth. If you get a chance, go on Truth and check me out. And I put up some funny memes there. Hi, Georgia. Hi, B-Dog. Ha. Cheryl, how you doing? Sherry, Melinda. Yes, please, while you're thinking about it, Zaza, how you doing? Mr. Kibler, how you doing? While y'all think about it, hit the like button before you forget. I've done that and forgotten. Hi, Kim, how are you? So, anyway, I went and checked Midas touched in the head. I gotta pull my little studio up and hope I don't end up in the netherworld, which I've been doing pretty good lately. Sure enough, they had a live stream. Where did it go? Let's see, live stream. 1 hour. So that I took this screenshot about a half an hour ago, but they did a live stream that was already over with, and they're the only ones I see brought it up. Trump's secret plot gets exposed, but they put in there nuclear menace. Trump surrenders, and all this crazy talk. I'll read some of the other headlines, but last time we were together, I discussed how he mopped the floor with that Marxist judge, and how the judge had a hissy fit that wasn't reported, where he banged his hand or fist down on the so-called bench, his elevated desk, and was fussing about the accountant can he go faster, and can't they lump a bunch of stuff together so he doesn't have to sit and listen to the accountant? And the accountant is sitting there telling him facts, numbers, reality that don't fit with his narrative. So we know there's cameras in the courtroom. How come nobody's putting that stuff up? If Trump belched or got his hair messed up or made a face they didn't like, it would be all over the place. But this judge can act a fool, and nothing gets put out about it. But at the same time, a completely different narrative from what we see with our own eyes is being pumped out by some of these channels. And, it boggles my mind. But hopefully, I'm sure that they have got a handle on where these stories are coming from. Where's the originating source? Hi, Christina. How you doing? Dottie, Sissy. Let's see. Yeah, make sure I get as many people as I can get. Where'd the chats go? They're jumping around. Ian, how you doing? You're opening a wellness center for NEMS. Well, I tell you, they need more than that. They need, Henri says Hill Rat needs a shrink. That's right. Oh, man, I tell you what, that'd be a job I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to find out what's going on underneath that cranium. Hi, Quilt. How you doing? Bubba. So, yeah, Miss Minnesota, how you doing? Andrew. So, Doc Honeycutt, how you doing? Camperman. Nice to see you. So, anyway, we got to start getting some equal time, and maybe Fox News doesn't have access to the feed from that courtroom, but it would be interesting because Eric Trump put out where I've got it buried in here because I take screenshots of stuff I want to talk about over and over again, and before you know it, you got to really look around for stuff. But MSNBC put up one video that was just before the Speaker of the House drama that popped up. And their title to their video was, quote, an existential threat to what matters to him most, unquote, inside Trump's historic civil trial. So they're acting like, oh, what matters to him most is his fraudulent empire and all this kind of stuff. Well, it's coming out that this judge is operating completely out of any kind of accepted jurisprudence with these, what they call themselves, quote, novel cases. They're making crap up. And this judge, Trump said publicly, he ignored the appellate, the Court of Appeals. He ignored professional accountants. He ignored the statute of limitations, and he did come out very strongly and say he needs to be disbarred. He needs to be off the bench. And even though he has been somewhat conciliatory, I believe that's going to stand in the end. And but for the sake of keeping, we don't want to destroy respect for the courts because of this Marxist individual. But what it does show us is that they exist. He's not the only one. And we have to go by the rule of law to either have them resign or remove them through established practices. And that's what the groundwork is being laid out for him now, not just this judge, but people in other positions, in other aspects of our government, and people in professional fields. And lawyers are one of them. And doctors, lawyers, these are de facto positions of trust and respect. And the ones who are going outside the boundaries are going to have to be removed. And it's going to be a lot of people. So we can't flip the tables of society over and make things very difficult for the entirety of our economy and our social cohesion. But we'll get it done, and it's coming, and we'll get there. Hi, Melvita, Tennessee. How are you doing? Hi, Karen. How you doing? So, Susie, how you doing? Pink hand waving. That's good. Whoa. I have a little bit of a lag with these chats like they jump around on me, but that's okay. So, anyway, now, hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? They're talking about a lot of things, of course. Like I said, everybody starts their discussions off about, wow, so much is going on. Hi, Mary. But they're saying, well, and the liberal media is really jumping up and down about it. That Kevin McCarthy is going to resign. He says he's going to resign. And even Gateway Pundit put that out there, that he's supposedly so hurt he's going to resign. Well, we were told to watch resignations, and we were told that people who step down or resign or who are forced out have already submitted and will do as they're told. So I believe that everything that McCarthy got accomplished was part of that. Hi, FHL. How are you doing? That's right. You need to repent. That's right. So, anyway. Oh, yeah, Karen, Mr. G ruled in. Now, are you talking about where they ruled about they couldn't keep him from running using the 14th Amendment? Because we discussed that yesterday, I think. Hi, Dottie. How you doing? Yeah, it's almost game over. I think it's just setting the table, setting the stage, putting people in the spotlight, and exposing people. But the appeals court, the Supreme Court addressed the 14th Amendment about some character challenging Mr. T, about the 14th Amendment, but the appeals court, Eric Trump put out there, the appeals court, the appellate division, Eric Trump, he said, we want to thank the appellate division for staying the New York Attorney General's and Judge Engoron's overzealous attempt to cancel our New York City business certificates. Judge Engoron's order erroneously sought to adjudicate the rights of non-party business entities that employ nearly 1,000 hardworking New Yorkers, have never been accused of any wrongdoing, and were never given their day in court, in clear violation of their fundamental constitutional rights and due process. We will continue to vigorously defend our company and our incredible employees from this politically motivated prosecution. So, in other words, the judge got another smack in the face, okay? And so did Letitia. And this case is going to get chipped away and whittled down before you know it, it's going to be one of the biggest embarrassments. And it just gets me how these channels I have been talking about keep pumping out this desultory, I'll call it desultory garbage and titles. I posted on my community page how I think it was ABC said exposed Trump was secretly plotting to be Speaker of the House back when Kevin McCarthy first ran for it. We discovered this secret plot. And right away, the other mouth breathers are putting out live streams about this secret plot for Trump to be Speaker of the House. You know it's scaring the hell out of them. But the winds are blowing in a way that looks like it's going to be Jim Jordan. Trump put a post up that said, a newspaper article, he didn't type this out. He just put the article up where they mentioned now that Trump has signaled his support for Jim Jordan. I noticed that verbiage in some of his posts. But at the same time, he is coming down, is it Tuesday, to address the Republicans in Congress. I'm hoping he gets the invite from the Speaker Pro Tem to address whoever wants to listen. If none of the Dems want to listen to him, fine. But I'd like for him to be on the floor of the House giving his address. Some people are saying it's his sales pitch to make him the Speaker. I think he will push for Jim Jordan, but if he's got to say, hey, I'm coming. If I get the votes, I'll do it. There's going to be so many rhinos and so many Democrats in the House terrified of it. Not only the House, though, in the media, the way Hillary's behaving, everybody is going to be terrified of him being Speaker. And maybe that's what it will take to get Jordan in, because they'd rather deal with somebody like Jim Jordan. But if Trump wasn't a threat, they would give Jordan a hard time and try to get a McCarthy clone. But I think it's funny how McCarthy didn't work out the way they thought he would. The bottom line is they got no Ukraine funding. They expanded Congress's power threefold for legal action they could take against the Biden administration with an impeachment inquiry. They avoided a government shutdown. And Nancy lost her office, and so did Steny Hoyer. And they can't come in and call any chips in off of McCarthy because he'll shrug his shoulders and say, nothing I can do about it. They voted me out. And I might resign from the House altogether, so don't come to me anymore. So the Democrats got outfoxed, and so did the rhinos. Now, what are they going to do? If the choice is going to be Jim Jordan or Donald Trump, they're going to push for Jordan. They would do any. There are rhinos, undercover rhinos we don't even know about, but they would move heaven and earth to keep Trump from being Speaker. And Jordan would look a lot more appealing to them. But I said it the other day, they would beg, they would do anything to get McCarthy back, but it ain't going to happen. So we got to see who will get Jim Jordan's seat, okay, as the tip of the spear as far as these investigations now that they have these enhanced powers. So, what do we got? 42 days left till the next shutdown looms. And remember, the last time the government shut down was 2018 during Mr. T's term, the longest shutdown the government ever experienced. And it happened through Christmas of 2018. And that was when Trump tweeted out. He stayed in the White House, and he couldn't be with Melania and Barron and stuff for Christmas because he said, I'm staying in the White House because I want to keep negotiating to get the government open, to show you I'm serious. I'm staying here in this White House. I'm ready to reopen the government. And that's why he stayed in the White House. But that's when he tweeted out, I've never seen so many machine guns in all my life. And that's when stories were flying around that there was some kind of attempt made on Mr. T. So just a little background. And I'm bringing it up because it was Christmas time, was the last shutdown, but also that Fox News posted a famous picture many of you in the chats have seen, going to that 17, that site that is an information post. They post information, right? Is George Washington crossing the Delaware Christmas Eve, okay, on Durham boats. I don't know why they posted that picture. So, and I've said before, a lot of military campaigns, a lot of military surprises happened on Christmas Eve. Napoleon, Battle of the Bulge, George Washington going after the Hessians. There's a lot of examples of that. So I don't know, this Christmas might be something. I'm not predicting nothing, but I'm just saying we got to expect the unexpected, and we got to not be surprised or distraught when anything does happen. And we can't let other people make us distracted from what's happening now. What's happening now is Trump is going to be making a major speech, a historic speech in DC, and with congressional blessing, okay, as far as the Speaker Pro Tem is going to be inviting him. So we will see what happens. And it's interesting to watch the reactions. On some of these videos, people that make these anti-Trump videos, there's no mention of it at all, about him running for Speaker of the House, except alluding to that so-called plot when he was supposedly trying to get in when Nancy first got thrown out. But we all know that's nonsense. So anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat. So he's having some back-to-back wins in the appellate courts and at the Supreme Court. None of them reported about the Supreme Court ruling on that case that one guy brought, trying to kick Trump off the ballot using the canard he was involved in, the insurrection. Nobody's reported that. But we know about that because we're the news, KNEWS, right? So, hi, Kicking Bird. How you doing? Yes, he does, Cheryl. Yes, he does. So, anyway, Hillary gave an interview. She's crawled out of the woodwork and said that people need to be deprogrammed. What a ridiculous thing. And you sit there and think what they're pushing. And you remember when Hillary ran last time, how the media had everybody in this dysphoric state, not realizing reality, saying that Hillary had a 98% chance of winning, a 95% chance of winning at what, 7 o'clock election night, when she was clearly losing. You could see there was something wrong with what they were trying to accomplish. And now we're supposed to believe that the majority of Americans would rather have what's going on in the schools now with the library books, with what they're trying to talk about, indoctrination, and not tell the parents, or we're supposed to believe that. Who's the ones that have been indoctrinated? The ones who actually believe that, or believe that's the proper thing to do to a child, or the proper way to live your life. I saw an interesting video tonight where a young YouTuber said things will never be the same. And he said, hey, I am sick and tired where I can't even talk normally. I have to talk in code. It wears me out. I have to say people unalive themselves. I say women are victims of a SA assault or SA period. Can't even use that word I just used. Or you can, hey, I've gotten maybe 8 new subscribers in over a month. That's not normal. That's not normal. So if you say words they don't agree with, that's why we don't like them in the chats even, words that you, in normal discourse, you should be able to say. But if somebody gets the R word, they call it now, like what that crazy old bat accused Mr. Trump of doing to her. You can't even say that word, even if they accuse him of it. Now, these other channels can, I guarantee you, they're getting 250, 300,000 views, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they can use the most vile slurs, say anything they want. But the young man was saying you can't even have a normal conversation. And he said, so I reached out to you, Tizzle, and didn't expect to hear anything back. And they came and they emailed me back, along with, I guess, a bunch of other people, a generic email, because people were complaining about the same thing. How can I talk about what happened to somebody, a criminal act? How can I discuss crime stories or political controversies or I guess I could say it one time and get away with it, demonic things that are happening? We see it with our own eyes. How can I create content about that if every time I say normal words that describe facts, I'm either suppressed or removed altogether? And so people apparently been complaining. And he said, oh, I got this email. I said, that's good. Let me see what they're going to do. Are they going to lighten up and let us talk like rational people? And the email said, good news. We're going to loosen up our restrictions on what you can say and can't say. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to let everybody put their preferred pronouns in their the names of their channel, their descriptions, their titles. Isn't that great? What? I'm Mountain Man. Okay. Anybody's got a need to put in, what is some of the crazy things they come up with, what they want to be called? It's not even rational. It's not even part of accepted language for thousands of years. I want to be called a shim, she, shim, then zimzer. and that they have some kind of judicial claim against you if you don't clap like a seal or squawk like some kind of trained animal and repeat what they say. You can get complained against. I mean, it's insane what's going on in this world. But take that to what they're trying to get the world to believe right now. That this is what the majority, not of just Americans, but any civilized country, okay? That if you believe in, let's say, the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman, if you believe a country should have secure borders, if you believe that young ones should not have strangers talk to them about S3X, okay, that you're the minority. You're the indoctrinated one. If you have an American flag, you may even be a criminal. Somebody the FBI needs to check out. I'm not going to fail to take that business seriously. I'm taking it very seriously about these news articles where three-letter agencies are going to be focusing on and checking people they perceive to be MAGA, right? I'm not taking any chances with that. It's unnerving, but I'll keep broadcasting. I'll keep speaking my piece. The only way I'm going to refrain from saying what I feel I need to say is I'll say things like S3X or I'll P3DO, right? Words that would get me in trouble so I can stay on this platform and reach as many people as I can. But I am not going to change my vociferous support of my own philosophy. Looking at what's happening in the world right now from a biblical perspective, my weak little layman's mind and what I've learned and things like that, and how I apply what's happening in the world today and what I feel God's opinion might be because nobody knows what God's thinking, but we know what he wants from us, and it surely ain't this kind of garbage that they're pushing on our children. So I could give you an example. I keep a loose eye on what's going on in the entertainment industry, a lot of different things, because this is an assault on civilization from every angle they can, and they have taken decades and decades. Some people, the only way they make their living is to dream up how to tear down a God-fearing society. I would say Christian, but I don't want to leave out Muslims. I don't want to leave out Hindus. I don't want to leave out Buddhists. I don't want to leave out any person of goodwill who recognizes that there is a higher authority. So there is a kludge, a group, club, whatever you want to call it, of people that want to defy that higher authority, want to discredit that higher authority and undermine it. And everybody that adheres to it, as I've said many times in past broadcasts, true wisdom begins with fear of the Lord. And these people have no fear of the Lord. They have no respect for the Lord. And they despise anyone that does. And just like the serpent went to Eve because she was innocent, she came after Adam, she was vulnerable. He loves to try to corrupt, okay, the innocent, to deceive the innocent, corrupt the innocent. And so that's why they go after the young ones the most. And they do it in cartoons, movies. They destroy everything that what they call the old patriarchy. One of the most famous movies, highest grossing franchise in history, was Star Wars. I could tell you what they've done to that. The movie Snow White. Disney made that back in what, in the 30s. It is still the highest grossing animated movie of all time. A timeless tale. Okay? And it boiled down to good and evil. And the romance, a fairy tale. They're in the process of destroying that. Disney Corporation is crumbling. I saw one video today where it's leaking from the studios that they've got a project for Cinderella. They're going to redo Cinderella for a modern audience, okay? And what the hook is going to be, supposedly, is that the princess is really a prince that added the cess, and supposedly nobody knows, and she gets, or she, whatever, gets a prince that the slipper fits and all that, and the prince finds out that the princess is really another prince. But not if you're politically correct. It's not, but it's all okay. Turns out love is on the inside. I'm not kidding you, folks. This is the kind of garbage they want to put out. And we're the ones that need to be deprogrammed. Like Trump said, who the hell wants open borders? Who the hell wants a destroyed economy? Who the hell wants mutilation, okay, of little ones? Nobody wants that. So how can they put it out there that Joe got 81 million votes? Well, that's why I'm saying I think the Truth and Reconciliation Act is being enforced, because the polls now are more realistic, because they can't get away with it right now. They can't. It's illegal to do push polls, to do phony polls, to have numbers show up for a certain amount of money you get paid. The numbers go the way the person paying wants to go. That is illegal. So now we're seeing something closer to reality, that Trump's up one poll. I saw him 12% above Biden. Now Trump is saying he had 11 point above Biden. And the one Fox News put up last week was 10 points. So it's an upward trend. And for a sitting president, that is unheard of. Unheard of. But it's closer to the reality. And Trump said that the first thing this country needs to heal as in healing a wound, not heal like a dog has to heal, but for the wounds to heal, the first thing we need is to get that media straightened out. Tennessee said Joe only got 81 votes and that was his family. That's right. Cinderfella, that's right, Doug. I guess that's the way I should have said it. But the latest thing, I know some of you don't care about this stuff, but the latest series they tried to inject into the legacy of Star Wars is some series called Ashoka. And I don't really pay close attention to it, but they've got now witches, okay? So they're going to the occult, whereas the original series was about good and evil, dark and light, light side, dark side, good and evil. Yeah, you had some magic with, moving things with your hands and stuff like that, and mind games. These aren't the droids you're looking for. But now they're gone into complete sorcery, raising stormtroopers from the dead. And this guy that is directing it or producing, I don't know what, he's the big wheel doing this show. Somebody put up some pictures of his wife, and she had a coffee cup that said, "Hail Satan and drink coffee." And she's got this mug, and her hair's all messed up, and she's got her coffee mug holding it up, saying, "Hail Satan, drink coffee," or "Drink coffee and hail Satan," one or the other. I couldn't believe that. And these are the people that have taken over what your child is supposed to see as entertainment. So we got witches raising the dead and casting spells, and it's obnoxious. It's just obnoxious. So I know people don't like it, that maybe I'm talking about kids' movies and things like that. That's where it starts. Okay? The innocent ones, that's where they go. That's where they have the easiest time. And then you have a child in your home you don't realize is going to argue with you and defy you with irrational thoughts that have been planted in their head. And it's going to cause discord in families. Okay? So I can get to where we can discuss not just what they're doing in entertainment. And it's not just a Star Wars movie or Disney or whatever. It's everything. Late night talk shows, on and on. Okay, we know that. Now, what about our government and our medical system? Rand Paul gave an interview where he said, what Fauci did, he needs to go to jail. Or worse, is what I say. But he used a T word, not reason. It's got a T in front of it. See, that's the way I get around the algorithm. And if you put it in the chats, use a 4 for an A, okay? And then it doesn't show up in the rhythm. But it's reason with a T in front of it is what Rand Paul's coming right out and talking about Fauci. Among other things, human experimentation, and that's not going to go away. And that made me think about this Milley business. Milley has been really in the spotlight getting the business, right? Because of his call to China. And, okay, the general public hears about that. He made a phone call to China, or he was on the phone to China saying, well, if Trump, does something, I'll let you know in advance. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But we know there's been a heck of a lot done, a heck of a lot worse by a heck of a lot more people than Milley. You think about a strategy. I discussed Pence, how Pence had to do what he did, and I'm not going to get a big argument about it tonight, for new people You might want to watch some of my past programs. But think about this scenario, folks. You got this friction. What if down the road, because some people are going to have to answer the ultimate penalty, and I'm not trying to be fantastic or get people pumped up. It could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. It could be next year. It could be right after Christmas. But there's a point where what people have done, nobody's going to walk away from this. Nobody. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to pay the ultimate price. How do you not shock a society? If you think about, if you are responsible for following through on this mop-up of criminal operatives and making sure that justice is served, how do you do it from this point forward without social upheaval, without shocking the body politic, okay? Or for people who don't pay attention to politics, have people afraid of a government that's Stalinistic, purging people. But there's going to have to be a large number of people from the military, from the medical profession, I'm afraid from the judiciary, and people in the media that are going to be paying a price. Jail sentences, all the way from jail sentences to the ultimate price. Think of this scenario. Milley gives an interview. Yeah, I heard what he said about me. And he gives a kind of a snicker of disdain. His prior comments about Trump, Trump's comments about him, the people in the military are going to take sides. People in the civilian section going to take sides, political sides. And Milley is seemingly at odds with Trump, now in a battle to the DEATH, right? That's what it looks like right now, right? So, and Milley goes so far to say, I've taken security precautions to keep my family safe. He's intimating that, Milley's intimating that Trump is somehow a threat to his family too, not just to him. So you have this, now Milley's out of government. He's a talking head right now. He's at odds with Trump. Think of a scenario where Trump is back, okay? Or there is a military control of the government. Because we know something's going to happen. Something's going to happen within the next 12 to 16 months, okay? Something big is going to happen. Whether it's the election being stalled, the election occurring, Speaker of the House, whatever, something big is going to happen. What if something comes out, information undeniable, that is truly horrible and truly undeniably treason about somebody else? And then Milley and Trump are on the same page and say, yes, that is too far. See what I'm saying, folks? Milley says, I have to agree with Trump on this. This cannot go unaddressed. And that's just one example where you have a seemingly opposition to MAGA, Trump, and our version of the Constitution versus Milley's thought pattern. Then you have something come up that is earth-shattering. And then everybody is in agreement that there needs to be a harsh dispensation of justice. Melvita, you can't use that word. I'm afraid you use a 4 for an A. You can't. I get my channel taken down for that kind of stuff. Melvita, I appreciate you being here, but you can't use that word without putting a 4 for an A or a 3 for an E on touchy words. I mean, we've only been calling the Jabberdo for so or poke or anything but the VAX. Now the algorithm even knows how to spell it when I spell it. So I might have been the one to get myself in trouble. Doug said the Great Awakening, otherwise known as the Apocalypse. That's right. But you see what I'm saying, folks? Where this, I'm not saying I know for a fact, but what I'm saying is it would make sense for Millie to do this dance, okay? To act like he's on the opposing side with Trump, because we have to pull the sides together to heal. And there has to be a common agreement. And you have a scenario like I just laid out. Let's see. Well, the thing is, I see what you're saying. Cameraman said, Pastor, now justice needs to be served away. I got a notice up here. Zaza stopped by. They buy me a coffee. I appreciate that, Zaza. I'm gonna say boom, boom, boom. If you want, somebody wants to put a couple of booms in the chat for me, I appreciate it. I got a link in the description for anybody who wants to help the channel out. This is a viewer supported, creator support channel only. Buy me a coffee in the description. Thank you, Zaza. And I appreciate everybody that's helped me out. I have to update my banner a little bit, but this is a good recap of everybody who's helped the channel out. I'll leave that up for a while so you all can see Gary, Aaron, Robin, Jax, Kirsten, Lone Wolf's in the house too. I don't see Larry's too, but Pappy Two Bears is a lot of people in here now. It's been part of the coffee crowd. Thank you, Zaza. There's your boom, 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 boom. It's okay, Melvita. No harm, no foul, sweetheart. No harm, no foul. And it'll all come out in the wash. But, like I said, that's how I started the program out. A lot of people on, if they're anti Mr. T, they can say whatever the heck they want. Or if they're pro Dr. Ouchie, they can say whatever they want. So anyway, hopefully that little Millie analysis will give you all something to think about. And any dust-ups Mr. T has with certain individuals, maybe laying the groundwork for a reconciliation between the people he's having the dust-up with. And the purpose of the reconciliation is to dole out heavy punishment. Okay, if Millie said, and he may have some deal cut where he's not going. He might have to be demoted a little bit or do some kind of something. Depending on. Or he may be playing this whole role as a role. So when the time comes for them to reconcile, they will be going after a common offender, one who's offended both sides of the aisle, and support Mr. T and the White Hats in doling out justice. It makes sense, doesn't it, folks? So things are not always as they seem. Hi, Michael DeCrustio. You can't put that word in, Michael. And you can't, you're just putting a bunch of keywords in. I'm going to give you a timeout. Nikki, is that okay? Because, and then Michael, I'm going to explain to you how, yeah, that's right. Debbie said, remember, whoops. Debbie said, remember TV General. I want to see. I'm going to give him a timeout and then explain to him the rules and then bring him back in. Okay, Nikki? Because I don't think you can time him out. I don't know if you can or can't. But I'm going to time you out, Michael, and explain to you what's going on so you can continue to be part of the conversation. Okay? So your 3 minutes. You can do that standing on your head, Michael. And what I want to tell you is you cannot put the word VACCINE or all that. You can't put that in because it gets the algorithm going. You can't put SATAN in. They don't allow that. They don't use the word KILL. Okay, because I guess they want YouTube to be family friendly and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. So when you come back, if I will address what you're discussing. Oh, you got worse than that, Michael. Sorry, I was going to time you out, but you're out. So you were looking for trouble and you found it. If you hadn't come on so strong and tried to have a reasonable conversation, I could have had it with you, bud. So, Michael, hey, Chris, I can't. I have to figure out how to pronounce that. That's okay. Anyway. So, I won't discuss his issues because we're on the same page. But anyway, I had this one X, you call him, instead of tweet, where a 78-year-old guy, and this is, one of the biggest things our Department of Defense did was get control of Twitter. And the message is getting out. They can't do anything about it. Here's a guy, 78 years old. I'll let him tell it. He put this out on X, okay? And it's getting shared around. And I'm going to share it on Truth Social. What the hell? Here goes. He says, I'm 78 years old. I worked most of my life. I paid my taxes, and now I'm 100% disabled. Hey, man, he's knocking on the door to 80 years old, right? Worked his whole life. So I draw SS disability. This is supposed to provide for me. I get $1,705 a month. I also get Medicare. Now I draw more from other retirements. My question is, what in the hell are these criminal illegals doing getting $2,200 a month and Medicare, and can it be stopped? So, I mean, that's putting it plump and plain. And a lot of things people don't realize. Everybody who's got this open heart and open arms, and think about the children, and don't break up families. It's like the one cop said, we got somebody, a dad driving drunk. He goes to jail for a year. We're breaking up families then. Or mom driving drunk. Dad's got to figure out what to do with kids while she's in jail. So hey, they come over here and they're not supposed to. The family gets broke up. That's their choice. Yeah, don't respond to them, folks. What I'll do with those kind of people is when I spot their blather, that this guy was I didn't read them all, but he was overboard. But if they're not too bad, I'll time them out, and that removes their comments and gives them 3 minutes, and I can tell them what the rules are, and then engage with them. But not when they're just doing more typing than they are listening, and they are not trying to have a conversation. They're trying to dominate the conversation. So Mike said he worked 50 years, got $1,000 a month. Well, you should go down get a sombrero and come across. Well, and you get 2,200. But no, that won't work. That'd be on to you. There's another thing I wanted to bring up since I've gone over my hour. Holy cow, I got a notice here. Camperman went to the coffee house, and Nikki, can you give Camperman some booms? And Camperman, give yourself some booms. Boom, boom, boom. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for the help, folks. The Buy Me a Coffee link. But I do want to ask you all if you think this is, I know I don't want to sound like I'm sticking up for McCarthy. I know that 70% of them at least either at the very least belong thrown out of office, and most of that 70% actually need to be doing jail time. I understand that, but we can't do that to a government all at once. So I'm not, I don't know enough about McCarthy, but I know he is performing a duty right now and I think he's being compelled to. I've been over that. But I want to ask you all if you notice this. All right, he dared Gates to throw him out. He did all the things that I thought that I said about cutting off Ukraine funding in a I'll say crafty way, starting the inquiry with increased congressional power, all the things I already mentioned. And he got kicked out. And I think he knew it was coming. And Matt Gaetz was taking fire from the rhinos, okay? And I'll get to him in a minute. But didn't you find it odd that between 24 hours and 48 hours or less from Matt Gaetz, from Kevin McCarthy being thrown out of the speakership, that Mayorkas makes an emergency announcement that the border needs to be closed in Texas, 17 miles of wall, hook or crook, and it was immediate urgent need to waive 24 federal laws to do it. That was a boom out of nowhere. And I think it's tied in. Because dereliction of duty, okay, there's many things. Suborning an invasion. There's many things that could have instigated that, but nobody saw that coming. And right when everybody was focused on, I like Kevin McCarthy. Oh, I hate Kevin McCarthy. The for Kevin McCarthy camp against Kevin McCarthy camp, before Matt Gaetz camp against Matt Gaetz camp. Everybody's talking about who's going to be the next speaker. Bam. A major policy reversal. that made Biden look like an idiot, the administration look like an idiot. They're automatically playing these videos. I will not put up 1 foot of wall. It's so cruel, and all the news agencies parroting it, talking about how bad it is for the children and how rotten Trump was. And it turns out he's right. They vindicated Trump. They shamed the Biden administration. And the wall's going up out of nowhere like a bolt of lightning. Don't you all see something? That's right, outlandish. We do get kicked in the teeth from our own government. Oh, while I'm at it, that's part of what I put in my title. You know, where's it at? Here it is. I got, you can come back to the 105 mark, well, 106 mark in the video. You can go back over this again. These sets of words. Now listen, there's almost 5,000 posts, right, in the 17, right? Almost 5,000. But if you type in these 2 words, being afraid, okay, just type those 2 words in. You'll get 2 posts. Type in end of all ends, you get the same 2 posts. What I talked about last night, pain comes, you get the same 2 posts out of 5,000. Original plan, I'm not kidding you folks, you think I'm crazy. Type in original plan, nothing else. You'll get only 2 posts, the same 2 posts. And one other thing, you type in Anthony Kennedy. Anthony Kennedy, that's all, nothing else. Hit the magnifying glass. Out of 5,000 posts, you'll get the same 2 posts. Kicking Bird made me think of it because I have it in my studio and I did want to talk about it tonight because I put it in my thumbnail. But why is it important? She said the government kicks us in the teeth and gives others everything they want. Well, that post starts off with saying, you think Hillary cares about you? Do you think they care about you? Just read that, type in any of that set of keywords, and those words are in no other posts except those 2. And the reason it's 2 posts is because it's 1 post that has a little something added to it, and it was the main post was reposted. If it wasn't for that, these keywords I just said, out of 5,000, almost 5,000, that would be the only post they're in. Being afraid, end of all ends, pain comes, the original plan, and Anthony Kennedy. Any set of words you put in, it's going to get the same 2 posts. And what you will find, if you can't understand every bit of it, don't worry about it. But you'll find out why she is afraid and why she's afraid right now. And you can go through her Twitter account, which is still up, and pull up where she was panicking back in 2018 about Mr. T, about Kavanaugh, about everything. They have been on the run for a while, and most of them have been corralled, and they are doing as they're told. I found an interesting one. I won't go over the whole thing, but there's a couple of words in there. Quote, we know, quote, do as we say or face consequences. And a saying that Many of us here on X22 all the time, exact words, Patriots in full control. You pull that up, and it's a post about Obama. And it lays it out there. They sold out America. Uranium One. But the one I was talking about earlier discusses if she'd got in, the Supreme Court would be just like this Erdogan or whatever his name is, a Marxist, making up laws, attempting to confiscate property, attempting to jail people because of how they feel. That's what would have happened if she'd have got in. So if you want to go look at that post and read it and try to figure, it says, did Anthony Kennedy have a choice? Now that's the one who stepped down. They had already had it set up for Loretta Lynch to take over for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay, they were going to make it a liberal court. They already got Sotomayor in there. They already got this Elena Kagan in there. And all they needed was a couple of freaks like this one out of New York or the one out of DC choking, and we would be under Marxist rule right now. Because that's exactly what they're doing with Mr. T on this New York case. Marxist philosophy, which needs to be criminalized. And you can call it socialist, you can call it communist, you can call it Marxist. It's all the same suit, different bow tie, the same smell, different outhouse. It doesn't matter what you call it. If it's in conflict, if the philosophy is in conflict with the Constitution, it should be criminalized. And anybody attempting to practice that philosophy in positions of public trust are behaving in a violation of the law. And that is going to be what's going to get laid out in the future. And Tennessee said, Mountain Man, McCarthy was a placeholder, and Gates was tasked to take him out to get the right person in the seat. In my opinion, that's exactly right. And let me tell you, Trump said this was a pause. What we're going through with Biden was a pause. What we're doing right now is we're hitting a mini pause button on Congress. And who is going to step in and address the world? The world is interested in what Trump's got to say Tuesday. He's going to address everybody during this congressional intermission. And what were we told? We're at a crossroads of human civilization. And that is not dramatic. That is fact. When you have a coordinated media, a coordinated legal system, coordinated government, quote, officials, all pushing to destroy the traditional family, to destroy a traditional economy and push for a new world order reset where we own nothing and be happy and eat the bugs. That is when civilization is at a crossroads. And anybody like the guy that just got blocked tonight, if they're still listening to me, if they can't understand that, they got something wrong with their brain. And that is not a slur to anybody. It's not a pejorative. It is a fact of life. Michael's back. He says Trump has controlled opposition. A lot of people say that, Michael. And what I have said, now please, Michael, before you get yourself in trouble, because you can only make so many different accounts, and I'm coming towards the end of our broadcast. You can't use keywords, okay? And don't uh, put in so many comments where I know you're not listening to my response because you're busy making comments, okay? And you're welcome to come back to the channel for future talks. But a lot of people say that, not a lot of people, but there are some people say Trump has controlled opposition and that we're all doomed. We're all doomed because these families or the cabal or whatever is controlling the whole thing, and we're all being guided into some sort of destruction. And hey, Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? All right, watch the replay. And hey, you can't go through life with that. There you go, Lucifer. That's a good way. That's the way to do it. Now you're catching on, Michael. Trump's not a politician, buddy. And we have America. If you ever listen to Citizen Man, he's been kicked off more times than I know. I think they banned even his Google account. Now he believes in stuff that I can't go with. But he's pointed out something that I know to be a fact is that there's such a thing as European Masons, okay, European Masons and American Masons. Okay, there's a rift in Masonic philosophy. So, it's just like saying, the Catholic Church, that everybody who's a Catholic is a certain way, everybody who's Jewish is a certain way. It's just not the case. We have factions in every group of people. And every group of people you have, I've been over this before, you're going to have like 1% that are a problem. No matter what, a human endeavor is going to have a failure rate. You got 100,000 cops, 1% are going to be bad eggs. How many bad cops you got? Out of 100,000, 1,000 bad cops. That doesn't mean all cops are bad. Same with priests. Same with any human endeavor. Well, I have to agree that there's Marxist control right now. And people are, do I know what time Tuesday? I don't know, Nikki, but I think it's going to be time for the California crowd from East Coast to West Coast. He's going to be in DC. He's got to think California crowd. So it's going to be at no earlier than 5 o'clock Pacific time, which would make it 3 o'clock Washington time. I mean 8 o'clock Washington time. But anyway, Michael, I don't think that hope is lost, and Trump has put out many times that we're going to kick out he uses the terms communists, Marxists, maniacs. I didn't know. Never read that about Trump. Which book? Art of the Deal? That's right, Outlandish. You're not doomed if you've got God in your heart. That's right, Zaza. DS got no soul. James Brown song, I got soul when I'm super bad. I didn't do that for my theme song, but I get a copyright strike. I got soul when I'm super bad. Well, Michael, I'm sorry you feel that way, buddy. Hopefully he'll prove you wrong. Because let me ask you this, Michael. What is going to be the outcome then? or who is the alternative, Michael? Because I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute, but I'm interested in see what you have to say. Who do you think is the good guy, Michael? Who should we all be rooting for? We want to know, Michael. We don't want you going to laying down, look at the ceiling, all upset and stuff. Now, I'm not making fun. I'm just joshing a little bit. You know, who should we run to? There's a song in there somewhere. I got soul, and I'm super bad. Trump's got soul, and he's super bad. No, I'm waiting to see what we should do, Michael. I'm waiting. That's not what I asked about Kamala. Jesus Christ, he's not on the ballot. Well, you're right there at the very end of the day. That's where we got to go, Michael. That's it. You got to know him. And more importantly, you got to let him in your heart so he knows you. Because if he says, I don't know you, that's to everybody. I'm not talking just to one person. If he says, be gone from me, I never knew you, then it's a problem, right? So time will tell, but we can't deny that we are in historical, biblical times. And once again, I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me, and new people who have come in to watch the videos. I appreciate you very much too. I appreciate you spending your precious time with me. And it is precious. Don't waste your precious time by being afraid. There's many ways we can waste our precious time. We're told, I think it's 365 times. In one way or another, be not afraid. So anyway, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And once again, to close that, I've got a Buy Me a Coffee link. Anybody wants to help the channel out? And thank you to Zaza and everybody that's helped the channel out, Camperman, and everybody that I had on the screen earlier. Thank you very much. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.